Hey, everyone, it's Lynn from Holistic Health and Wellness, Wednesday afternoon, and coming to you again talking about sugar and how to kick the sugar habit. So I'm going over and over this because it's such a huge thing in people's lives. It was such a huge thing in my life, and so I totally relate to people who struggle with this. And it's one of the areas where I really want to help people to really be able to kick the sugar habit once and for all. So there are some small tweaks that you can make that can really help you with that. So I've explained to you before that I am a total chocoholic. And it wasn't just always the chocolate, it was really anything sweet. I was also hooked on Dairy Queen Blizzards. Would go through the drive-through and buy probably 5 of them at a time, put them in the freezer, so I was never without. And you probably can relate to this if you are a person addicted to sugar. It would absolutely scare me to death if I thought that either my chocolate or my blizzards or some other kind of thing that I was addicted to wasn't readily available to me in my house. So it would be like going into panic mode, thinking that, oh my gosh, that's just not available. What am I going to do? And so I'd maybe have to stop on the way home from work. I'd maybe have to stock up extra when I went to the grocery store so I did never feel that panic. And that's really, really an awful feeling. It's really pretty bad when you're that addicted to sugar. And I most definitely was. And so I totally get where people are coming from. I understand how that is and how hard it is to overcome. But, most of us don't even have a firm grasp on how much sugar is consumed on a yearly basis. It's been said that an average person consumes more than 40 pounds of sugar in a calendar year. That is, if you think about a 5-pound bag of sugar and multiply that to get the 40 pounds, that is a lot of sugar. So that's really quite alarming when you think about it in those terms. So when we think of sugar and sweets, desserts such as cake, things like donuts, candy, cookies, that's what we think of when we think of sugar. But there are tremendous amounts of sugar that hide in our everyday food that we don't think about so readily. Lots of things that we consume on a regular basis, but it adds up fast. So we really want to make a few mindful tweaks because that can really make a difference. So I'm going to share today a few of my favorite ways to keep added sugar at an absolute minimum. So number one, choose real fruits. It takes no extra time whatsoever to grab an apple as opposed to grabbing a candy bar or grabbing a prepackaged fruit cup or applesauce. And it's just as easy, and it doesn't contain any of the added sugar. The prepackaged items have so much sugar in there, so that's definitely a healthier option for you. So choose something fresh, some kind of fresh fruit from the produce stand so you can save some money. Number two, focus on fiber and protein powder. So fiber-rich foods fill you up and they keep you feeling that way longer, so you likely will eat less and you won't be as hungry so quickly. So fiber and protein are two huge things for helping you feel more satisfied. So you want to get a protein-packed food that has that great benefit and combine it with other things throughout the day so that you'll be less likely to seek out the sugar. So protein powder isn't my first choice because I'd rather you eat a natural protein. But for people who are in a hurry, protein powder is definitely a better option than going and getting that sweet thing, that donut, or Panera's Cinnamon Crunch bagels come to mind as one of the things that I love. But, things like that are just loaded with sugar, and we're trying to ditch the way that we think about eating our sugar and don't do the added sugar bit. So if you're one that adds sugar to your coffee every morning, think about that. So I always used to drink my coffee with cream and with sugar. So the cream, of course, has sugar in it. The sugar itself, if you, especially now over the last few years where you can go into somewhere like Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, anywhere and get these super sweet, hot coffees that have got cream in, that have got sugar in, like your Frappuccinos, etc. That is a huge amount of sugar again. So what you can do is, if you're not ready to cold turkey, I cold turkeyed years ago from coffee with cream and sugar to just black coffee. And I have to say that now if I pick up somebody's coffee and it's got sugar in it, it's just disgusting to me. I just don't enjoy it anymore because I'm so used to the black coffee. But, take it down bit by bit. If you have 2 or 3 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee, then start by going down a spoonful or half a spoonful at a time. If you have creamer, try switching it up for something like almond milk, because that's definitely a healthier alternative for you until you can get to the point that maybe you can do without it. So the other huge thing that you can do to ditch your sugar is to study the labels on the foods that you buy. So if your pantry is absolutely brimming full with prepackaged processed foods, then you're in trouble. It's time to learn to live without them. Start reading your labels and look at the bottom and see the added sugars that are in there. Do you know that there are 42 names for sugar? And if you're thinking about things that end in OSC, like dextrose, anything like that is always your added sugar that is not good for you and you don't want it. So added sugar is in some of the most unsuspecting places. So read every label carefully before putting it into your grocery cart. That's one of the things that I do is I take people shopping on shopping tours and I teach them how to shop. I teach them where the added sugar comes in and how you can ditch that and stop buying that kind of food. So the other thing, the last thing I'm going to talk to you about today that I've talked about before is drown out cravings with sugar. Not with sugar, drown out cravings with water. So if you're a soda drinker, you can cut out quite a bit of sugar by ditching your soda habit. Now, believe me, I know that isn't easy. I was a Coke and Pepsi drinker for years. I would have 3 or 4 a day. Never ever thought that I could get to the point where I would not be drinking it. So one of the things that you can do if you like that carbonated effect, buy some soda water or, the sparkling water from the grocery store that's all natural, and then you can add something to it like some flavored, really good flavored fruits. So your fruits in season. If your strawberries are in season, then they're really delicious to add. Blueberries are a great one to add. So, I suggest people do that with their regular water if they don't like to drink regular water. But if you really are trying to quit the sodas, another idea that when I was teaching one of my classes at USF recently, one of the guys was saying that he likes to drink POM, P-O-M. You'll find it in the grocery section of the grocery store, the fresh produce part by the juices. So he had started adding just a little bit of that to some carbonated water or some sparkling water. And for him, that was a great substitute for drinking sodas, definitely a healthier way to go. So, sometimes going back to water, sometimes we think that we're hungry, and often it's a mental thing. We think we're hungry, but we're not. So one of the things you can do is drink some water. A glass of water can solve the problem many times. So have a glass of water, then wait 10 minutes, and then see if you're still hungry. You very well may not be. Have that glass of water, wait a while and see. You might find that the craving has usually gone by that time, because often it's a mental thing. If you're like me, when you are thinking about something sweet, it's really hard to get that off your mind. It just drives you crazy until you actually go and get that sugar that you want. So if you think about how big a part your mind plays in what you want, it's really hard to get past that. So try drinking that glass of water, give yourself a few minutes to let that settle. You might find that the craving has gone away. Then again, you can find the perfect sweet treat that isn't harmful to your health. One of the things that I do with my recipes that I give out, I have a recipe program, and you can buy 1, 2, 3 months worth of recipes at varying prices. But there's always a sweet treat in there, and it's a healthy sweet treat. One of my favorite ones that comes from one of my detox programs is to take some cashew nuts and soak them in water. So you can soak them overnight, or at least for a couple of hours. Drain off the water, put it into your blender, add a little bit of water to it, blend it up, and it comes out like a Cool Whip. So you put that in, I use mason jars for mine, so put some in the mason jar, add some kind of fruit that you really like, and then another layer of the cream and another layer of the fruit, and you keep on until it's all gone. I usually do a cupful of cashew nuts. And then at the top, I usually put some toasted rolled oats or some hemp seeds or something to give it a crunch at the top. That has you a totally healthy dessert that you don't have to worry about getting that sugar craving, because it's a natural, healthy, natural, all sugar, natural sugar, type of product, type of dessert that will satisfy you without making you feel you've just got to go back and get more. So today we talked about filling up on fiber and protein. We talked about phasing out the sugar bombs with your coffees that you just love so much, studying labels before you buy so that you know exactly what you're getting, and then drowning out the cravings with water. So again, like last week, I want to offer you the program that I do, which is a Ditch the Sugar Habit. It's a 7-day program, and I don't officially have it online. This is just something totally casually that I'm doing. If it's something that you're interested in, just drop a comment under the video below, and or else PM me, and I will get back with you and get you started on that. This week, I'm offering it at a sale price of $22, and it's a 7-day program, and it gives you added recipes. So I've got a bunch of low sugar smoothie recipes if you like smoothies, as well as all the recipes that go with the program, and we'll teach you step by step how in the next 7 days you can ditch your sugar craving. So having been one who absolutely was crazy about chocolate, I really know how it is. I see my niece from England has just joined, and she can vouch for the fact that, just like I said, Jim, at our BNI this morning, I would come back from England with half of my suitcase just weighed down with English chocolate, and then heaven forbid that somebody would try and take that chocolate from me when I got back home, because I just was so addicted to it and so afraid that when it was gone, what would I do? Because I couldn't just turn around and go back to England again. So I totally get what it's like to be addicted to sugar and how you just continue to crave and crave. So let me know if some of these tips work for you. Let me know if you're interested in going into the 7-day program with me. I appreciate you having been here with me, and I will talk to you again Friday for my usual Facebook Live. So now my class is finished. It probably will be mid-afternoon, but I will post and let you know. Thanks for being with me this afternoon, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.